rise every morning with truth in our hands. No more silence, we take a stand. For the people who cry for the dreams that fade, we speak for the hearts that justice betrayed. Radio True Media
on FM 103.9.
Radio True Media
on FM 103.9.
Sierra Leone, North Division. We will at this juncture transition into the program properly, as I call upon speakers and I urge the speakers to be time conscious and impactful in their speech. Thank you very much. I will now invite a representative from the Sierra Leone Employers Federation for a short statement.
You are not company brave.
Thank you so much, Ambassador King. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, Minister of Employment, Labor and Social Security, Honorable Ministers of Government, Members of Parliament, leaders of workers' organization, President of the Sierra Leone Chamber of Commerce, representatives of employers, development partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Sierra Leone Employers Federation, I am honored to join all Sierra Leonean workers, employers, institutions, and partners in commemorating May Day 2026 under the theme, Building Workers' Power for Sierra Leone's Transformative Agenda. This is a timely and important theme. It reminds us that no nation can transform successfully without productive enterprises, protected workers, constructive labor relations, and strong institutions of social dialogue. Workers' power must not be understood only in terms of demands. It must also be understood in terms of dignity, skills, productivity, representation, opportunity, and the ability to participate meaningfully in national development. Today, I wish first to commend the Minister of Employment, Labor and Social Security and his team for the significant labor reform efforts undertaken in recent years. As employers, we recognize the seriousness and commitment with which the ministry has pursued modernization of the labor law framework, including
the Employment Act 2023. Yesterday, the representative from the Chamber of Commerce reminded me that a key issue that we must discuss with the ministry or continue the discussion with the ministry is the issue of end of service benefit. It is vague, it is ambitious, and it is prone to misrepresentation. So, Mr. Minister, with all your laudable efforts in sanitizing the labor law, we urge that we move a stage further to ensure we solidify the dictates of the law and we preach equity for both employers and employee. Furthermore, we are encouraged that the ministry was able to cause the enactment of the Work Permit Act 2023, the Overseas Employment and Migrant Workers Act 2023, and the Trade Union and Industrial Relations Act 2024. We also acknowledge the continued effort towards an updated occupational safety and health framework, which remains vital to improving workplace standards in Sierra Leone. These reforms reflect a clear national commitment to stronger labor governance and better regulation of the world of work. We equally extend sincere appreciation to His Excellency the President, Julius Maada Bio, and his government for creating enabling platform for dialogue, reform, and institutional collaboration. In particular, we acknowledge government support for efforts to extend social protection and formalization pathways to workers and enterprises in informal economy through collaborations involving ILO, NACIT, UNDP, and other stakeholders. These are important steps in a country where informal enterprise remains a dominant part of economic life, and where formalization is essential to expanding social security, improving productivity, widening the tax base, and promoting decent work. We particularly welcome the National Action Plan for Enterprise Formalization, which seeks to help transition a large share of Sierra Leone's economy from informality towards sustainability and growth. This is the kind of national effort that deserves recognition and stronger coordination. Many employers, especially in the formal private sector, are under increasing strain from cumulative effect of laws, regulations, administrative burdens, energy cost. Thank God we have Mr. Grant, who has promised to grant us energy. Isn't that so, Mr. Grant? Energy costs and regulatory challenges. We must therefore ensure that labor reform and business sustainability move together. If employers collapse, jobs disappear. If enterprises cannot grow, wages cannot improve. If compliance becomes too complex or too costly, formalization will be slow. For Sierra Leone's transformative agenda to succeed, we need a balanced ecosystem in which workers are protected, but employers are enabled to operate, invest, innovate, and of course, expand. For this reason, the Sierra Leone Employers Federation respectfully recommends the following. First, there is a need for deeper tripartite consultation before and during implementation of major labor and business-related reforms so that these laws are not merely well-intentioned, but workable in practice. Issue number 2, government should adopt a phased and predictable approach to compliance, especially for MSMEs and first-time formalizing organizations, including temporary support measures, practical guidelines, and simplified procedures. Third, Sierra Leone should move more decisively towards a one-stop digital compliance system for labor, social security, human business registration, work permit, related reporting obligations, so that employers spend less time navigating fragmented system and more time creating jobs. Fourth, there is an urgent need to address multiple taxations, overlapping inspections, and administrative duplications. Fifth, as the country advances its labor protection, the forthcoming occupational safety and health regime should be accompanied by capacity building awareness, realistic transition timelines, and support for enterprises to comply. Sixth, government should consider stronger incentives for formal employers and for informal enterprises willing to formalize, including tax relief, access to finance, training support, recognition schemes linked to compliance, and job creation. Seventh, we believe the Sierra Leone Employers Federation should be further strengthened intentionally as a national social dialogue partner. In this regard, we wish to respectfully appeal to His Excellency the President and his government to support the Federation in securing land and basic facilitative assistance for the construction of a modern secretariat. Such a facility would strengthen our ability to serve employers across the country, deepen labor management cooperation, provide training, advisory services, and support the national agenda for industrial peace and economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sierra Leone Employers Federation remains committed to responsible leadership in the labor market. We will continue to engage government constructively, work with organized labor in good faith, and support reforms that are fair, balanced, and sustainable. Our goal is not to resist change, but to help shape change in a way that protects jobs, encourages investment, and strengthens national competitiveness. Today, the Sierra Leone Employers Federation I'm sweating. You know, biblically it says, if you must eat, you must sweat. So, and I have to live with that type of curse. The demands are so many that I'm sweating. Today, the Sierra Leone Employers Federation has less than 100 members, while our federation operates with more modest institutional resources than some other sisters organizations in the sub-region. Our role in Sierra Leone is no less strategic. In Nigeria, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association reports 4,000 members across 16 sectorial groups. In Ghana, the Ghana Employers Association reports about 1,500 enterprises in its membership. Globally, the International Employers Organization links over 150 employers organizations across more than 140 countries. This comparison underscores why Sierra Leone must continue investing in the institutional strength of its own apex employers body. As we celebrate May Day 2026, let us remember that workers' power and employers' sustainability are not opposing goals. They are mutually reinforcing pillars of national development. A strong worker needs a strong enterprise. A strong enterprise needs a stable and motivated workforce, and both require a responsive state, modern laws, fair regulation, and genuine social dialogue. Let us therefore continue to build a Sierra Leone in which reform is balanced, enterprise is supported, labor is respected, informality is reduced, and opportunity is widened for all. On behalf of the Sierra Leone Employers Federation, I wish all workers and employers across our country a peaceful, meaningful, and productive May Day 2026 celebration. Solidarity, solidarity, and solidarity. I thank you very much. I swear to you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, I want to pitch the solidarity song, but I can't really sing it. Edward, can you help me? Solidarity forever. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kobe Walker, representative of the Employers Federation. In summary, you've stressed that our workers are our greatest assets. And the Chief Minister is mindful of that. That's why I've been reliably informed that he had to cancel his trip to be here this morning to show solidarity with the workers of Sierra Leone. You're welcome, sir. I also recognize the Minister of Agriculture. I also see my sister, the Minister of Development, Kenya Bali. I also see my brother there, the Commissioner Naxa, Ambassador Dumaina, and also the Deputy Minister of Transport, and all other trade, all other dignitaries here this morning. You're welcome. You also stress on the need for us to strengthen the governance system in the labor sector, and you particularly stress the importance of end-of-service benefits. Why is that important? One day we will all go old and feeble. And I remember this quote from an American literary work I read over 20 years ago, I think, Death of a Salesman, in which it was stated that you cannot eat the orange and throw the peel away. A man is not a piece of fruit. People cannot work, labor for 20, 30, 40 years, and at the end of their active years, they have nothing to fall back on. That's why we will defend and protect NASIT with our lives. And you also touched on the need for the laws can be strong, but what you guys want is that they must be predictable. And we understand that. They can be strong but predictable. And he stressed on the need for the enabling atmosphere so that we not only protect workers, but we also protect the security of the investment. Because money is a coward and will not go anywhere that it's not sure of its security. So we need to put on two cops. That was my fight when I was the labor minister. I always had that fight. People, they strike and they think they only have rights. The investor also has rights. And you also mentioned the need for partnership, collaboration, etc., etc. I guess the minister is here. He's a listening minister. The Honorable Vice President is here. He's very strategic and he also has very strong, active listening ears. So they take notes. I'll call upon the representative of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. Representative of Sierra Leone Labour Congress, please. The president. The president. My brother. Welcome. Yes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Workers' Day. Can I have the chorus over there? Forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Honorable Vice President, the Minister of Employment, Labor and Social Security, all the ministers of government, parliamentarians, the diplomatic corps, employers, colleagues, workers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As we join other countries the world over to commemorate the International Workers' Day, otherwise known as Labor Day or May Day, I am happy to address you on behalf of workers of this nation. I thank all workers and affiliate unions for supporting the Labour Congress all these years as their umbrella trade union organization in Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to welcome and to thank His Excellency the President for making it possible for us to have this August gathering here today. This year's May Day theme is Building Workers' Power for Sierra Leone's Transformative Agenda. This theme was carefully thought out because of its aptness in relation to reskilling and capacity development in the context of a transformative world. This theme further aligns itself to government's development agenda, which is segmented into the 5 big game changers, namely feed salon, human capital development, youth empowerment and employment, technology and infrastructure, and transforming public service architecture. All of these are in line with the transformative agenda of the country, but heavily requires building workers' power to create the necessary transformation. The Honorable Vice President, the Labour Congress and workers of the country expressed thanks and appreciation for the review and the enactment of 4 labor laws, as earlier on mentioned by my colleague, and the ratification of 9 ILO conventions geared towards the provision of decent work and building workers' capacity to transform Sierra Leone. There are, however, in Parliament, 2 other employment bills to be enacted, which are the occupational safety and health, and the workers' compensation. We look forward to their prompt enactment to complete the piece in the jigsaw. Honorable Vice President, we further appreciate your government for providing the enabling environment for the negotiation of the national minimum wage, which was successfully done and now stands at 1,200 leones. The old leone will say 1,200,000 leones. Effective April 2025. I think the government needs an applause here, ladies and gentlemen. Our only concern now is that the minimum wage should be the threshold for PAYE, pay as you earn. We tax on end of service benefit, redundancy, compensation, and terminal benefit. These are proper policies to tackle poverty and guarantee income security. The Honorable Vice President, the Labour Congress and workers of this country appreciate the fact that one of the deliverables promised by your government is the creation of 500,000 jobs. This is a welcome initiative which we, the people, are looking forward to. But the question is it the government is going to create those jobs alone? The quick answer is no. I know that it's not the intent, but have to leverage on the opportunities of the private sector to help create the needed jobs. The private sector is the sure bet that government has to create the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive by removing roadblocks and inflation, such as inflation, high interest rate, unstable exchange rate, and high taxation. Your Excellency, the private sector would complement government's effort to create the jobs the youths need in this country if given the required platform. We want to appreciate the Gentoo group of companies, 100% Sierra Leone-owned company, for the construction of the Kent seaport, which will provide huge employment in Sierra Leone. We urge the government to support this initiative to achieve the needed employment goals. I think the Gentoo support group needs an applause. This is 100% Sierra Leonean. We are talking about local content, and this is completely 100% up, more local content. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today again to present a set of critical issues that lie at the heart of our nation's development. The path to a prosperous Sierra Leone is paved with decent work for treatment of workers and a supportive environment for businesses. The Sierra Leone Labour Congress has observed over the past couple of years that prices of basic commodities have been on a steady increase, which has seriously eroded the earning power of our members and the wider society. Consequently, this has negatively impacted on the standard of living of workers and their families to the extent that they can hardly afford a day's square meal. Am I saying the truth, workers? Am I saying the truth, workers? Live up, ladies and gentlemen, live up. The Labour Congress is similarly concerned about the increase in the prices of petroleum products over the years, as well as the overburdening system of taxation, more particularly the goods and services tax. All of this, Your Excellency, have further impacted the livelihood of workers and the general society, as they could no longer cope with the harsh realities of the current cost of living in the country. The Labour Congress is concerned that this continuous increase and their biting effects are not being cushioned by pro-people remedial measures by the state. This unmitigated economic situation is worsening inequality and poverty as individual households and community levels. The situation is worrisome and a dangerous predisposition that a fragile society like Sierra Leone can ill afford. Your Excellency, we have before us an agenda of the key issues which, if tackled collectively, will transform our labor landscape and drive inclusive growth. Let me point out each one of them. Wages and Compensation Commission. Wages and Compensation Commission. We know that for too long, the public sector has suffered from inequitable and fragmented pay structures. This commission will be a game changer. By systematically harmonizing salaries based on objective criteria, it will eliminate disparities, reward skills and efforts fairly, and lay the foundation for decent employment within government, setting a powerful example for the entire economy. However, we are taken aback by the enactment of the 2026 Finance Act by government, which removes President, the Vice President, the Speaker of Parliament, and Deputy Ministers of Government, Members of Parliament, judges, the Chairman, and the members of the Election Commission from the determination and harmonization of the salaries, terms, and conditions of service by the Wages and Compensation Commission. Are people getting me clear? Are people getting me clear? Workers, are you getting it? We see this act as a non-commitment to the mandate and spirit of Wages and Compensation Commission. Compliance with labor laws. It is not enough to have laws. They must be complied with. We observe that some employers and government are violating the provisions of labor laws, which deny workers to enjoy decent work. Therefore, government and all employers must comply fully with collective bargaining agreements and labor laws. When we honor negotiated agreements, we build trust. When we respect legal provisions on working hours, safety, and leave, we motivate workers to give their best. Compliance is not a burden. It is the engine of efficient service delivery. In this regard, the Ministry of Employment, Labor, and Social Security should ensure compliance and respect for labor laws. Public sensitization. The new labor laws only work when people know them. That is why we should carry out public sensitization and awareness raising campaign on the new labor laws. This can be done through radio, workplace meetings, training programs, and digital platforms. Therefore, government and its social partners should ensure every worker and employer understands their rights and responsibilities. This is how we move from paper to practice and ensure decent work promotions. Informal economy workers. We cannot speak of decent work while the majority of our people toil in the informal economy. Without any safety net, extending social security such as old age pension, survival and health insurance to informal economy workers is a direct attack on poverty. Whether one is a trader, driver, rider, carpenter, masoner, store laborer, waste management worker, or works as a domestic helper, deserves protection at old age. Sickness and invalidity. Following the completion of the design of the Social Security Scheme for informal economy workers, government should expedite the extension of Social Security to the informal economy workers. This will complement the extension mentioned above using practical, affordable contribution models suited to irregular incomes. This is a pillar of decent work, and we urge government to make it a reality by taking immediate steps to ensure the necessary legislative processes. Electricity supply.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Vice President, we note the strides your government has given to improve electricity supply in the country. However, we are concerned about the limited supply of electricity and the frequent blackouts. No business can thrive without reliable power. The inadequate electricity supply and high tariffs undermine every sector. We are therefore canvassing urgent reforms and investment in the energy sector, because without power, decent employment remains a distant dream. We urge the government to be committed for the provision of reliable electricity with the right consumer voltage that does not spoil appliances and machines rather than paying lip service. Climate change and the environment. We cannot ignore our environment. Climate change is already here.
Erosion, floods, mudslides are destroying communities and workplaces. The abuse of our environment must stop. The promotion of green jobs, enforce environmental standards, and educate workers and businesses on sustainable practices such as proper waste management should be our greatest concern. And ladies and gentlemen, we have what we call a clean salon. You have these boys going around. You go take one bag dirty and you jump to the next street, you go and take them from one compound, you go Ibayanda, because they are not properly organized. Protecting the planet is protecting the livelihoods. We all must act now. Workers' education and industrial peace. Lasting industrial peace requires knowledge. My school says, knowledge is light. When you have knowledge, then you can understand things. So here, we need to educate people so that they can have the knowledge, the requisite knowledge. Lasting industrial peace requires knowledge. We will carry out workers' educational programs in every workplace on rights, responsibilities, conflict resolution, and the benefits of social responsibility and dialogue. An educated workforce is a peaceful and productive workforce. We are calling on government and employers to support this initiative. Your Excellency, you may recall that you directed for the provision of funds. For the provision of funds, I see the chairman is looking at me. When we talk about money, people become very sensitive, you know, and say money matter, not so. Your Excellency, you may recall that you directed for the provision of funds in the Labour Congress to carry out workers' education across the country. But the funds, Honorable Vice President, are yet to be available to the Labour Congress. We still await these funds through your fatherly intervention, because we want to educate the workers so that we stop the strikes, the industrial actions in the various places of work. When there is knowledge, they will know what to do and what not to do. In conclusion, the points highlighted above are not separate problems. They are threads in a single fabric. When we harmonize pay, enforce laws, extend social security, lower unfair taxes, regulate agencies, fix electricity, protect the government, and educate workers, we build a nation where decent work is the norm and not the exception. Thank you for your kind attention, and God bless Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much, President of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. I looked at you not because you mentioned money, but because you've actually transformed this program from a reflection day into indeed a call for action. But thank God it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue, and I trust the Vice President is going to exchange some few punches with you once he takes the podium. Yes, because you've talked a lot about the 500,000 job, and you rightly mentioned that indeed government is not going to create all of those jobs. And the government, we have strategic thinkers in this government. Yes, you just touched on what was said in the text, Why Nations Fail. Yes, because we don't have like residual sector of the economy. And the opening of the view at Leicester Peak, the Vice President mentioned how this government has transformed extractive ministries like lands and tourism into income generating ministries. That's when we we're going to create some of these jobs. You also talked a lot about, you reminded me also of the saying of Confucius, the Chinese philosopher. If you want to be a good leader, he said, you must have compassion. And you buttress the point I raised earlier on, that you cannot eat the orange and throw the peel away. A man is not a piece of fruit. You must look after your workers in their old age. Thank you. I will not go over. I will not give another, round of lecture here. You said a lot. As I said, the Vice President will respond accordingly. I trust him. I'll now invite the next speaker, who is the representative from the ILO, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I've attended several of this kind of conferences and engagements, and once the protocol has been articulated, has been established, you can do several things. You can either stand on it, you can sit on it, you can lie on it, but allow me to lean on the protocol. Please also allow me to, at this juncture, recognize Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Jallo, as well as my Minister of Employment, Labor and Social Security. I know we also have several other ministers here present this morning. Good morning. As well as DGs and heads of different departments and agencies. And our Chief Minister, good morning, sir. And I know we have our sister agency, UNDP, and the Ambassador of the EU, and all the other international development partners, representatives and leadership of our workers and the employers organization. I greet you this morning. It is indeed a profound honor for us as the International Labour Organization to stand before you again in Freetown as we celebrate a silent heroism of our salon workforce. On this day, May 2026, we are not observing a holiday. As you would have seen, we are also taking a look at the journey that we have traveled so far, but also we are receiving requests and several asks from our representatives from the employers, be it creating a good conducive environment for enterprises to flourish, or from our workers where they continue to demand the government to implement measures to ease the burden of the workers. But it is also an opportunity for the government to also reflect and share some of the things that they are doing to pursue the national development priorities. So for us, this is indeed a very important commemoration where it allows us to renew our social contrast as a contract as far as workers' issues and employers' issues are concerned. It is an opportunity to reflect, an opportunity as well to celebrate some of the milestones that we have jointly achieved. So the President's declaration for 2026 as the year of action, it resonates very well with the International Labour Organization. And we see this, as my colleague, the President of the Labour Congress said, in the big 5 game changers, and especially as it relates to human capital development as well as youth employment, because these are very critical interventions that will begin to reposition the country and to continue supporting interventions that are dedicated to enhancing the skills development in the country, to build human capital, as well as creating these 500,000 jobs that have been pledged as the commitment from the government. And indeed, this is not going to be only a responsibility of the government, but is indeed a joint effort. And as we know, the private sector has a very important role in promoting and developing the kind of jobs that are required. So as the International Labour Organization, we stand ready to continue journeying and partnering with the government of Sierra Leone through our focal ministry. We already have a decent work country program for Sierra Leone. This is a country program that articulates the priorities of the tripartite partners in Sierra Leone as far as promoting and achieving social justice. So we will continue to support the different intervention so that we are able, as the international organization, to commit and also, demonstrate our technical capability in order to assist the country in achieving its national development priorities. And allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to also recognize that as we are pursuing in this world of work, we are seeing a lot of changes, a lot of dynamics in the world. And of course, some of the changes impact on the way we do work, but also some of the changes require us to change the way we approach work. Yesterday, we spoke a lot about digital economy, as well as the role of artificial intelligence in shaping the way we do work. And I want at this moment to also acknowledge the UN Pact for the Future, which also demonstrate or outlines steps that we need to follow in order to make sure that artificial intelligence benefits everyone, that it is right-based as well as ethical, and also that we are able to breach the divide so that we do not allow this digitization to continue creating a gap that will make the distance between our government and its people even far longer. I wish to congratulate our tripartite partners under the leadership of the President and the leadership of the Vice President. We know of several very critical and laudable milestones that have been achieved. I think at the top of it is the living wage, is the introduction and the review of the minimum wage. Of course, this is very important because we know that things are becoming expensive, so we do need to review our minimum wage so that we make sure that it does not continue to really impoverish, or the salaries impoverish our workers. And of course, we spoke lengthy about the efforts that we are doing with NACIT as far as social protection is concerned. For us, this is one of the fundamental principles and rights at work, making sure that we extend social protection, including to workers in the informal economy. And another one is around inclusive empowerment. And we've seen how our joint interventions and joint initiatives continue to support women empowerment and women economic empowerment, to be specific, to work together to ensure that we continue to remove barriers that continue to exclude our women from contributing and participating meaningfully in advancing our economies, including in securing positions of power so that women are on the table addressing issues that affect young girls and women. And to the workers of Sierra Leone, I want to say that your resilience is the foundation of this nation. That when you are marching in the West End or you are assembling at PZ, your unity is your power. Whether you are advocating for fair wages, whether you are advocating for improved working conditions or better employee benefits, your voice matters, because silence is not an option. I reaffirm once again the commitment and the contribution of the International Labour Organization to continue with you on this journey, to continue being a partner so that together we can be proud of some of the results that we have achieved. Together we can bring the impact that we want to see on the ground, and maybe one day when we celebrate May Day, we will call on the beneficiaries, we will call on the people of Salon to come and sit on the high table and tell us what our impact has done for them and how we have changed their lives. I thank you.
Thank you very much, my lady. She stressed on the need for us to work together. As it is often said, together everyone achieve more. Together, everyone achieve more. And she also touched on the laudable milestones that have been made, which is a reminder of how far we have come, but also how much more we still have to do. Reform is a process, she said. It's not something you wake up in the morning and you say, abracadabra, magic. No. It's a process, and we are on the journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And she also touched on the need for women's empowerment, which, for your information, we have addressed that in Sierra Leone. We have the Jiwi Act, which now guarantees the participation of women in our body politic. And yes, you also mentioned the need for inclusivity and other things. But little by little, we'll get in there. It's a process, as I said. And now, at this juncture, it was Muhammad Ali Pasha who once said, "My successor shall complete my work." But unfortunately, his successor Abbas was more of a reactionary than a revolutionary. But my own successor here today is a progressive, visionary, strategic, tactical, labor minister. With an addition, he'll usually say to me, you are Minister of Labor. You are what? Minister of Employment. I now invite my brother, Honorable Mohammed Radu. Sorry.
Mr. Chairman, and my very worthy predecessor, Honorable Vice President, the ILO representative, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, development partners and representatives of international organizations, leaders of employer organizations, representatives of workers' unions and Sierra Leone Labor Congress, representatives of the informal sector economy, digital innovators, women entrepreneurs, youth leaders, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a pleasure standing before you here on this annual pilgrimage on this very important May Day celebrations. It's a great honor, and I must say, a welcome change to welcome you all to this important gathering. A welcome change because, for once, we are not here to debate any pay raises or conditions of service. We are here to celebrate. Today, we celebrate you, the workforce. We celebrate you, the workforce, the workers of Sierra Leone. We celebrate your resilience, your dedication, and your invaluable contributions to our national development, from the farms and markets to the ports and construction sites, from factories and offices to the fast-growing digital platforms that now power our modern economy. Quite simply, if Sierra Leone works, it is because Sierra Leoneans are working. If Sierra Leone works, it's because Sierra Leoneans are working. And sometimes you work even when the system seriously tests your patience. We salute not just your labor, we salute your endurance and your very strong nerves. On this historic occasion, we affirm our shared commitment to decent work, social justice, and the dignity of labor. This year's theme, Building Workers' Power for Sierra Leone's Transformative Agenda, could not be more timely. It reminds us that development is strongest when workers are not just participants, but partners, not just contributors, but stakeholders. And we are honored to have with us today our Deputy Worker-in-Chief, the Honorable Vice President, Dr. Julius Madabiu, the Honorable Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jul Lejalo. So that's the agony of prepared speeches. You know, we expected His Excellency, the President in attendance today. So I'm meandering my way between the prepared speech to what ought to be. Anyway. And we're honored to have here with us today our Deputy Worker-in-Chief, the Honorable Vice President, whose boss, like himself, has consistently placed people at the center of policy. Under his leadership, our medium-term National Development Plan 2024 to 2030, the Transformative Acceleration Agenda for Food Security, and you have the Food Security Minister in the room. In him, I am very confident that by the end of this journey, we will not look elsewhere for our food self-sufficiency. He has the neck and shoulders ready to take us to that level. Food security, human capital development, and job creation. With job creation here, I am very assured. I see my colleagues in the room. Just yesterday, we were at the commissioning by His Excellency of the flour mill. 100% indigenously owned, contributing to creating the 500,000 jobs. And just the day earlier, His Excellency was at the Tonkolili mines to commission a 10 million metric tons per annum plant, which will create more jobs and begin to beneficiate for the benefits of the country. Sorry, it's always better off script, but I have to return, unfortunately, to the script. Your Excellency, your administration has shown that development is not only about big numbers, but about real lives. Globally, the world of work is changing at remarkable speed. Artificial intelligence, digital platforms, and automation are reshaping industries faster than many of us can update our CVs or even remember our passwords. Some of us are still locked out of our emails. The Chief Minister should be able to relate to this. Yeah. Indeed, the world of work stands at a critical crossroads. While these technologies promise productivity gains and new opportunities, they also risk displacing jobs, exacerbating inequalities, and creating precarious forms of work, especially in the informal economy and platform-based gigs. In many parts of the world, workers face the dual pressures of economic uncertainty, climate impacts, and the urgent need for reskilling in a digital economy. Yet, history teaches us that when workers are empowered with strong rights, social protection, and a voice in decision-making, we build more resilient, equitable, and prosperous societies. Sierra Leone is determined to harness the opportunities of the digital age while safeguarding the rights and welfare of every worker. Just last month, our country and my ministry proudly hosted 13 other labor ministers at the 52nd ALAC Governing Council meeting here in Freetown. That gathering brought together African labor leaders, in addition to the ministers, to discuss the future of decent work in the platform economy. It reinforced the need for collaborative, forward-looking policies, exactly what we are pursuing today through strengthening tripartite dialogue among government, employers, and workers. Because when we talk together, we usually argue less and we achieve more. Fellow citizens, under the leadership of His Excellency, our ministry has been advancing concrete reforms to build workers' power and create inclusive opportunities. We have successfully increased the national minimum wage from 800 to 1,200 effective April 2026. That's not loud enough. That doesn't look like appreciation to His Excellency. Thank you. This 50% adjustment, achieved through extensive consultations with employers, organized union, that's the Sierra Leone Labour Congress, helps cushion the cost of living while supporting productivity and economic dignity. And yes, those consultations were really, really grueling and extensive. We are moving decisively towards the launch of the Informal Sector Social Security Scheme under NACIT. This historic initiative will extend pension and social protection coverage to traders, artisans, market women, bike riders, fishermen, and other self-employed citizens who form the backbone of our economy. The bill is advancing through the necessary processes, and we are committed to urgent rollout. We are finalizing the establishment of a National Employee End of Service Benefit Trust framework and Central Digital Administration System, which was presented here to delegates who were present at the social dialogue session yesterday. I am told that was the real icing on the cake for yesterday's session. This will ensure that workers receive what is rightfully theirs upon separation from employment or their employers. No more. It will come later. That later will come first. The digitalization of the work permit process went live in January 2026, bringing greater transparency, efficiency, and accountability while reducing paperwork, which I know many of you will agree is a form of occupational hazard. We are in the process of restoring the machine testing bay and the trade testing unit, enabling us to validate skills acquired through informal and prior learning while strengthening the factory inspectorate division to ensure safer workplaces for all. In the coming weeks, I'll present two critical bills to Parliament, the Occupational Safety and Health Bill and the Workers' Compensation Bill. These will modernize workplace protections and ensure workers are properly supported when accidents or injuries occur, because no job should cost a worker their health, their life, and indeed their future. Together, these reforms, alongside broader efforts in skills development, women's economic empowerment, and youth job creation, demonstrate our government's unwavering commitment to building a labor market that is fair, safe, inclusive, and future-proof. Distinguished guests, while our government remains committed to a safe, legal, and dignified migration for the purposes of work, I wish to strongly advise all Sierra Leoneans to avoid travels to places where they will be in harm's way. We therefore urge our nationals to contact the Ministry of employment, labor, and social security for advice prior to embarking on any overseas migration mission. This is to ensure that our citizens don't end up unwittingly contributing to any wars anywhere in the world. Let me now turn to a few calls to action to our workers and unions. Your power lies in organized, constructive engagement. Continue to advocate responsibly for better conditions while partnering with us to boost productivity and competitiveness. To employers, decent work is not a cost. It is an investment in sustainable business and a stable society. Just a couple of days ago, a Liberian court passed a ruling which went against an employer for a major employment injury which cost the company over 400,000 United States dollars. So if you had invested, you have taken the appropriate steps to foster a culture of health and safety, that could clearly have been avoided. So to employers, let us note that it's not a cost, it's an investment in sustainable business and a stable society. I urge you to embrace these reforms, comply with the new minimum wage, invest in workers' safety and training, and create more formal opportunities, especially for women and young people. Healthy workers, after all, work better. Not so? Is there anybody who doubts that? Healthy workers work better. You don't want excuses galore. Every day, sick leave or something. To our development partners, digital innovators and women entrepreneurs, your expertise and innovation are vital. Let us collaborate to expand opportunities in the green and digital economies, ensuring that technology creates jobs rather than simply replacing people with passwords and passwords with frustration. To the informal economy representatives, you are not marginal. You are central to our economy. The informal sector scheme and skills validation initiatives are designed particularly with you in mind. As we mark May Day 2026, let us renew the spirit of solidarity that has always defined the labor movement. Let us build workers' power not through division, but through partnerships that advance Sierra Leone's transformative agenda for food security, human capital development, and inclusive growth, economic development, and prosperity. The future of work in our country must be one of opportunity, dignity, and shared growth. Together, government, workers, employers, and partners will make it happen. Long live the workers of Sierra Leone. Long live tripartite cooperation. Long live the Republic of Sierra Leone. I thank you, and God bless you all. The chairman said so, but let me also note this. I see in the audience my former professor, former colleague in cabinet, Pa D'Souza George. You are most heartily welcome. I also note you can rise up for recognition, sir. He taught me drama practicals in university, and we sat in cabinet together. So he's a very highly successful man. To have taught people in university and you sit in the same penultimate decision-making body with them, it's no mean feat. I doff my hat to you. The Chief Minister, I reliably understand how to counsel our international engagement to be here. CM, we appreciate your being here. We really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart. The Honorable Vice President has proven something traditional probes have often gone against. They say it's unusual for thunder and lightning to strike the same place twice. He was here with us yesterday leading the social dialogue. He's here today again. So let's give him a round of applause for that. We really appreciate your presence. I was pleasantly surprised when your participation today was confirmed. Thank you very much. To the Trade Minister who hosted me yesterday to the launch of Flour Mill, I could not be more grateful. But I did not get my own flour, sir. But I know arrangements will be made for that later. And the bread, But thank you. I see a lot of colleagues. This is not something I take for granted. Madam Minister of Economic Planning and Development, Madam Deputy Minister of Trade, the Minister of Works, and all others. You want your mic back. This is my show. I call you to support me. That is why you get when you get a former Minister of Information. invite you to chair his occasion. He literally won't, but I'm going to let you do your job. You've done a fantastic job thus far. Go on. Thank you. Congratulations, all of us. Let's enjoy the May Day. God bless us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Put your hands together. That was the sector minister. So no addition, no subtraction, no embellishment. His statement is the policy statement. Thank you. Well, all along we have been fueling the flights. And in the aviation industry, I guess you all know, we all know how to fly plane. During the standard safety announcements in the aviation industry before takeoff, the pilot will announce that the flight is about to take off, and in case of loss of cabin pressure, you please put on your oxygen mask before attempting to help others. That announcement is a leadership lesson. You want to lead people? Put on your own oxygen mask first. The Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone has put on his oxygen mask effectively, I guess for the past 7 or 8 years. And at this juncture, I must respectfully invite the Vice President, Dr. Muhammad Julde Jallo, to address the nation.
Thank you. Kindly sit down, please. Mr. Chairman, honorable ministers, including the Chief Minister, representatives of development partners. I see the EU ambassador here and our colleague from UNDP, the ILO representative, our sister from the ILO office in Abuja, leaders of employers organizations, the Sierra Leone Employers Foundation, representatives of the Workers' Union, and the Sierra Leone Labour Congress, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, I was here yesterday. Today, I am here to represent His Excellency, the President. So I want to use this opportunity to bring you greetings from His Excellency, the President, who is looking forward to meeting the Sierra Leone Labour Congress and the Employers Federation soon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to talk essentially along two axes. First, I'm going to speak on the theme. Second, I'm also going to share some ideas with you about how things are going in the country, and more specifically, respond to some of the issues that have been raised here. First, let me take this opportunity to thank the Minister of Trade, the Minister of Labor, partners for a successful National Labour Congress that took place yesterday. I was really happy, satisfied with the quality of discussions, and then more importantly, the exchange from several other ministers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me state that here, I support the call by the Employers Federation for a thorough dialogue on labor-related laws. And I also want to state that I take good note of the recommendations that both the Employers Federation and the Sierra Leone Labour Congress have made here, particularly including for government to provide you with a portion of land to build your office. We will do that. But I equally want to take the opportunity to respond to a few issues before I go to the core of my statement. First, on the minimum wage. The minimum wage, how does the tax system work on the minimum wage? The first 600,000 is exempt, tax exempt. The second 600,000, we tax 90 leos. Una one back law pull 90 leo. We go review them. Because at least, you see, taxation capacity. It's a capacity of the person who pays the tax, and it's also the capacity of the state for let able to deliver. So we can review them to a state where at least una go pay something, even if not to the 90 leo. But not to me, they make a decision on that, now the Minister of Finance, but I take good note. On price increase, I want you to note that over the years, we have made immense gains in the economy. We've stabilized the currency. We have reduced inflation. We have reduced the interest rate to create an enabling economy that will allow businesses to flourish. We have also worked tirelessly to decrease, to reduce and stabilize the price of essential commodities. I want to challenge the Labour Congress to take the phone, call other countries in the region, and then try to know the prices of essential commodity. You realize that we have been doing extremely well. Today, the Middle East crisis is there. There has been a global increase in the cost of fuel, and that is redistributed across. In Sierra Leone, we have went further to ensure that we don't transfer the global increase to consumers. So we are subsidizing electricity, we are subsidizing fuel, and also we are subsidizing a whole lot of things so that we don't transfer that to you. However, like I said yesterday, the big challenge today in Sierra Leone is not the cost of living. It's what I call limited household income. The number of Sierra Leoneans that are working, the number of Sierra Leoneans that are in small businesses are very limited compared to the number of Sierra Leoneans they have to look after. So it is the responsibility of the state to create that opportunity for small businesses to grow. So you have more people doing business, and then we create jobs so that more Sierra Leoneans can go to have jobs, to have money. So that is what we have been doing. But I want you to know that at this stage where we are, in light of the global economy, today government is in a center of what I call the politics of redistribution. What does that mean? It means the resources we are getting today from taxes, we redistribute them as subsidy to subsidize electricity, to subsidize fuel, and to subsidize health and a whole lot of things. I will talk about that and electricity later on in my speech. But the point that I want you to note is that yesterday we have committed here that we are going to protect the minimum wage. That includes reviewing the threshold for tax on the minimum wage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now let me go back to my speech, and then I will come back to share some ideas with you. First, let me say I feel very honored to represent His Excellency at this year's May Day celebration, particularly as I consider myself also a very dedicated worker of this great republic. Let me seize this moment to express my profound gratitude to the leadership of the Ministry of Employment, Labor and Social Security and its partners, the Sierra Leone Labour Congress, the Sierra Leone Employers Federation, for their relentless effort to support this year's International Workers' Day celebration. It is my firm belief that the theme for this year's May Day commemoration, building workers' power for Sierra Leone's transformative agenda, resonates with the vision of His Excellency the President and his decisive declaration for 2026 as a year of action, a year of tangible result in livelihoods, food security, job creation, and economic stability. The theme, Building Workers' Power for Sierra Leone Transformative Agenda, captures the essence of our national journey. Workers are not mere beneficiaries of development, they are its architects and its engine. When workers are organized, skilled, protected, and empowered, nations transform. Sierra Leone's mid-term National Development Plan 2024-2030 and the big 5 game changers feed Salon, human capital development, youth and employment scheme, technology and infrastructure, and transforming public service architecture will only succeed through collective power and the commitment of our workers. Building workers' power means several things, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It means investing in human capital and youth employment. Through Feed Salon, we are transforming agriculture into a modern, productive sector that creates dignified jobs. We are scaling up technical and vocational education, lifelong learning and entrepreneurship programs so that our young people who represent our greatest asset can secure meaningful employment across all sectors. It also means enhancing social protection and fair wages. The recent increase in the national minimum wage of 1,200 leones effective April 2026, alongside efforts to extend social protection to informal workers, are concrete demonstrations of our commitment to improving workers' welfare. Yesterday, like I just indicated, we committed as a government to protect the minimum wage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this also means promoting women's economic empowerment. Women form a significant part of our workforce, particularly in agriculture and in the informal sector. We will continue to enforce equal pay for equal work, expand access to finance and market, and create enabling environment for women-led businesses. Over the next couple of days, I was just talking with the minister and our sister from Milo that we need to scale up our investment, our work, to ensure women are properly equipped to benefit from the several loan schemes that are sitting in some of the banks in this country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it means strengthening social dialogue and tripartism. Government, employers, and workers must continue to engage as genuine partners. The National Labour Conference and Social Dialogue Forum demonstrate the value of this collaboration. We will sustain and deepen it so that policies on wages, working conditions, skills, and digital transformation truly reflect workers' realities, especially those in the informal sector. It means delivering decent work in a digital era. Digital technologies, platform economies, and innovation offer new opportunities for flexible employment, entrepreneurship, and global connectivity. This was discussed extensively yesterday. Yet, we must ensure these opportunities come with fair play, social protection, occupational safety, and respect for rights. Our government is committed to expanding digital skills training and supporting women entrepreneurs and youth to thrive in the digital space. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the transformative agenda of Sierra Leone demands a strong, united, and empowered labor force. To our workers and their trade unions, your unity, discipline, and constructive engagement are vital. continue to organize, advocate, and contribute ideas for a better workplace and a better nation. To employers, recognize that a motivated, well-trained workforce is the foundation of sustainable productivity and profitability. To our development partners, your continued technical and financial support for skills development, digital infrastructure, and social protection remains very critical. On that note, I want to reaffirm government's unwavering commitment to inclusive labor policies, social justice, and shared prosperity. In this year of action, let us continue to work together to improve working conditions, better incomes, safer workplaces, greater opportunities, and stronger social protection. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I must say that the key to creating decent jobs is to build an ecosystem that enables us to create more jobs and improve working conditions. Let me highlight some of the investment that this government has made over the years. In the area of infrastructure, we continue to build roads, we continue to build bridges to connect ecologies, to connect communities, so that when you build roads, you are able to create access to markets for people, and more importantly, access to social services. In electricity, today, we always tell people, before 2018, our access to energy in this country was at 16%. Today, our access is well over 34%. We continue to build infrastructure. If you take the capital city of Freetown alone, the peak demand in Freetown is about 110 megawatts. Over the years, we have expanded access in Western region. We have expanded electricity access to the hospitality corridor, to places like Batos, to places like Tombo, Waterloo, and a large part of Eastern. All of these places before 2018 never had electricity supply. So the demand in the Western area has increased. So what we are doing currently, we are investing both in generation, transmission, and distribution. In generation alone, we are completing an additional 30 megawatt solar energy in Newton that will join the grid. We have also completed a 10 megawatt in Lunge to support the Lunge community and the airport. All of these will come on board this year. We are building an additional 110 megawatts in Kisi. As I'm talking to you, the machines just came in just a couple of weeks ago. When that is complete, Freetown will never see electric blackouts. At that time, Freetown will have more than 100 megawatts that will be enough to maintain the kind of supply we need for the Western region and also make room for businesses that are coming up. That will give us a combined 150 megawatts. In the next couple of weeks, we are going to catch up in Freetown. When we get the rains, we are going to get additional 44 megawatts from Bumbuna. But because it is the dries, we are not getting anything from Bumbuna. So please bear with us, that in the next couple of weeks, we are going to get 44 megawatts from Bumbuna. From end of June, July, electricity supply in the Western area will be stable. By the time we get to the next dries, the Newton Respite project of 40 megawatt, the 110 megawatt from Nantes will have been in operation. That time, you go light stay, but be prepared to pay for the light, because that is one big challenge. Today, when people are talking about the cost of electricity, yesterday I said here that we have three categories in electricity tariffication. We have the social category, the manufacturing category, and the industrial category. The social category in this country is highly subsidized. Every Sierra Leonean that is not connected through a company or an industry, we are subsidizing our electricity. We want you to know that. That is why today we have big invoices. Be rest assured that we are doing everything we can to reduce both what we call the technical and financial losses. A lot of people are not paying electricity bills. And also, because the transmission and distribution lines are very old, we also encounter technical losses. We are trying to build that. For some of you that are staying in Eastern, you will see that we are building new lines. For some of you in the peninsula, you are seeing that we are building new lines. These are new lines that will allow you to have sustainable electricity at a very cheaper rate and also with reduced technical losses. That is what we are doing on infrastructure. In the area of manufacturing, because when you combine electricity to small businesses, you create opportunity for jobs. When we build roads, we create connectivity, you create opportunity for entrepreneurship. In the area of manufacturing, yesterday, the Minister of Labor just told you, the President was inaugurating an ultra-modern flour mill. Before the end of the year, we are going to launch another flour mill, which is a 60,000 metric ton flour mill at the port. That flour mill will be supplied not only Sierra Leone, but also Senegal. We have opened a lot of factories over the years. Yesterday, I was telling the Minister of Labor that the next labor dialogue, you have to show the system that we have put in place to track the jobs that we are creating, so that you know we are not only creating these jobs, we are tracking them. We can tell you at any point in time how many jobs we have created and also what we are doing to create additional jobs. Come to the value chains. Agriculture. That is the future of job creation. Agriculture involves essentially three things. You have production, you have processing, and then you have commercialization. So along that chain, the opportunities for job creation are immense. A couple of days ago, His Excellency visited a farm in Lokomsama Chiefdom to demonstrate that over the years, we have reduced drastically the importation of onion. In the next 2 to 3 years, in Sierra Leone, we will not import onion any longer. We are increasing domestic food production, poultry, egg, chicken. Most of us today depend on imported chicken. We are providing incentive. We are supporting businesses in that area so that in the next couple of years, we don't need to depend on imported chicken and imported egg. We are meeting that challenge. So all those opportunities create serious incentive for job creation. We are not only creating the jobs. Yesterday, the Minister of Higher and Technical Education was here. She highlighted the investment we are making into skills training so that we are going to provide the kind of skill set that these new manufacturing industries need. We are transforming technical vocational institute into community colleges so that we encourage people to go into these institutions to get the skills that they need for them to be able to plug into the momentum. When you talk about jobs, we create jobs, we provide the skills training, and then we also look after workers in terms of health financing. 2 years ago, when we realized that the international development landscape is changing, development partners are not giving us money like they do before because priorities in their countries have changed. We decided to come together as a government to think innovatively. How do we finance development? How do we finance health? How do we finance education? And then we established the Interministerial Committee on Health Financing. I am chairing that committee. And a couple of days ago, we were discussing the establishment of the Universal Health Coverage Agency, which we're going to have two fees. One is on free health care. The other one is on the Sierra Leone Health Insurance Trust. So we are coming with the slushy. We are coming with the insurance trust. All this government is doing just to be able progressively to reduce what we call out-of-pocket expenditure on healthcare delivery. So when you spend less money on health, you spend less money on education, then workers will have enough money to look after themselves and their family. So that is what we are doing on the health financing. All of this I have just outlined is just to emphasize the point that for you to talk about decent work, you have to create more work. This is what government is doing to be able to create more work. We are also investing and creating opportunities for small businesses to access capital because we have vast opportunities for investment. What is lacking is capital. So we are trying as hard. We establish institutions, we have passed laws to create a bridge to connect capital to opportunity. The flour mill that His Excellency launched yesterday, the farm that he built, all of these businesses, government has helped them to get envelope of millions of euros and millions of dollars. These are some of the things that we are doing as a government, all in the hope of creating jobs, increasing revenue, and also moving the economy forward. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on that spirit, let me state that on this May Day, I salute every worker of Sierra Leone in the farms, mines, markets, offices, construction sites, digital platforms, and homes. Your labor, I must say, builds our nation. Your power will drive our transformation. Let us move forward together with government, workers, employers, with the unity of purpose and strength of resolve to realize a prosperous, equitable, and resilient Sierra Leone for Sierra Leoneans. I thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
That for me is a wow. Say wow. Wow. You know why wow? As the Vice President was speaking, he reminded me of what Napoleon Bonaparte once said, that leaders are dealers in hope. And I want that hope to yeast in us, waiting for the day of achievement, which will come when it will come, as we chant, wonderful, God is good. We must get there. The future is bright. We must get there. Wonderful, God is good. The future is bright. We must get there. Indeed, we can see that there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to exercise some patience. It will get better. I thank you all. Thank you, Honorable Vice President. Because when the Vice President speaks, officially this program is supposed to come to an end. Nobody knows for talk again. But the Vice President has graciously consented for us to listen to a testimony time. Testimony time. This is testimony time. Testimony time of the good, to hear about the good work the Ministry of Labor under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Abdul Rahman Swari. The intervention.
I'm George Williams. Yes, my experience of Electrica is 25 years. From London mining, Kolioli, Sierra Utai to 2000. I'm George Williams. Yes, my experience of Electrica is 25 years. From London mining, Kolioli, Sierra Utai to 2005, MPA Kabai regime. So 2017, Akana Bolui to 2018, runoff. Yes, as technician, electrician, crane electrician. So they do job there we for replace a motor there, a belt and motor. So the engineer of Clifford Cole, he called me, say, George, he said, go replace the motor for the spreader and check continuity, what did they go on. So I'll go inside, I'll loose out everything, I'll pull. So as I go inside, Clifford, they talk to Solomon, say, hey, Solomon, if they make sign, me the inside, I focused on the side. I don't know what did it come over now, where it just can close me and lock me between the pelvic. Yeah, before they release me back for pull me out, now it broke me the left foot. Yes, from that, it done. They take me, they go to me in the hospital. So after that now, the doctor, they come, experts there, Dr. Lavi, Labalin, Dr. Kagbo, Dr. Kamara, Dr. Bundu, they all come and a team, they can watch me. They say, George, they get intention of this. They begin to use tube for me, they release everything, the blood come out. They find a solution now. If I the worker, I the move. And they say, no, this man will move. The team doctor, they go a meeting, they come now. They fed a comprehensive letter, they say, I forgot Ghana, I forgot to be surgical. I go Ghana, they go to be surgical, I can't Sierra back. So doctor give me 1 year, 6 months. For remove the iron plates in my leg, the foot. So after 1 year, 6 months to 9 months, I go meet Minister of Labor. So they call Freetown Terminal. They invite them who come for me to travel with me back. So Labor make efforts for me to travel with me back to Ghana or go put the iron on my foot. So when I go Ghana, I come, Labor, I tell them thank you, what they do for me.
I go get to Swahili, I'm a businesswoman. I be work for Lebanese before. So I work there for 1 year, 1 month. So when I work there, for let them be giving me benefits, first way Labor intervene inside it, and then I will get them. Everywhere I probably don't get them. Now be draw. It not be easy. But when Labor then team up for me, farm the I will get me benefits. Before one as I go cry to them, so I didn't take my matter serious. Now in the get for invite the people in the supermarkets. Now the post you get for you, I get them.
Mina Khadija Sento, some they call me Auntie K, a nurse from Sierra Leone and a caregiver in Saudi Arabia. I tell plenty thank you to Labor and HRG for giving me the opportunity for can explore now. So far so good. The journey from Sierra Leone to HRG, a very nice one. I'm happy for being the first person for Ghana, Saudi Arabia, which was the 17th October 2023. Ukanaya, we boku Ukanaya Bonamina, the first person for to HRG. The journey was so unique. I get a transit, doing my first timer. It be so easy for me. From Salon to Ghana, from Ghana to Casablanca, from Casablanca to Dubai, from Dubai. I finally arrived in Riyadh, in the city of Saudi Arabia. Again, all praise and thanks to Labor and HRG because they facilitate this program. And we will come 2023, June, October, November, December, we know the way man are kaya. So all thanks to them for whatever will be today, for whatever we will assist to people and back home. Alhamdulillah.
I'm James Brainerd. I work now G. Shankaras and Sons. Of course, I don't work for G. Shankaras and Sons for over 31 years. I will tell the company thank you because from the time where I don't begin work here, I don't left here, I don't born picking them, I don't grow them up, I don't educate them. I believe so through the job. If I'm not in the job, that would have been difficult for me.
My name is Abdullah Sanko. Of course, I work na Pega Park. Of course, I don't work here for 23 years now. Of course, the work don't impact my life so much, because if it hadn't been for this job today, I wonder how it would be. From looking at my own friends and today, then they into drugs and all. But I've been a responsible somebody as a result of this company.
Onakusho, mina Miss Philo, mina Kpaka, I be get an issue, me office, usa I be work, usa they be end up dismiss me, where they end up sack me. I be end up take the matter na Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor be end up look to my case, and later they be end up reinstate me back.
Mina Suleiman Santos Conte, so I've done there for a long time. Now I say God thank you. And especially the go there and say the government showing this salary there, so alhamdulillah, I'll tell God thank you. Although knows the difficulties then at the world, but not to we are no more. So inside the government can look back in and can add back from Chief River to tell Papa government thank you. So let's thank you. God add for the God bless them. You know, man, we are done there for the man, and then 15 years. I was the question of how you can tell God thank you. And the last
I tell the Minister of Labour, thanks so much to you for me. To the Minister, the Commissioner, the Labour Supervisor, others, the workers there, I tell them thank you, what they do for me much.
I tell the company thank you because they don't provide job for me. I tell the government thank you.
All praise and thanks to Labour and HRG because they facilitate this program.
Told me advice what I get for any possible way they work on an office where they be treated unfairly, where you not be treated fine. So for Lego take the matter now Ministry of Labour, then go look to the case, then give advice where then go able to take action. So Ministry of Labour do for we all.
Today, as we all celebrate International Labour Day with my families, I wish all the workers them happy International Labour Day.
For the labor of Ministry of Labor, Labor Congress, you guys stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, please stand up. I want you to give them a big hand clap. Clap for them. You see them people here? Them people here now everywhere that they go, including myself, what now everywhere that they go. Where you don't serve now the Ministry of Labor. I don't fall out with big business people in this country. We sack people and no one pay them. One, I'm a colleague. I say, no, you the pay them. Today, we are not on speaking terms. I say, you the pay them. Also, we don't for the investor, and not for the people no more. SLPP party person, one party person will be issue, enough compromise, enough conduct himself well at the job. When then Sakai say that then a power now, I come for take advantage by the investor. I say no. They subjected you to due process. Then do everything where them for do before then dismiss you. No. We need to take advantage by people. So we, now the Ministry of Labour, who die now everything where they go. Thank you very much. I will now invite the Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress for present some awards them where the Congress gets for appreciates the good work where some people don't do. We go empower them, charge them for do more.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, brother.
Thank you, sir. Well, if we're there today, as a result of government in goodwill. So workers, can we give a round of applause to government? We can make palava, we halala, they will come together back. I believe, say, my senior minister, we come first, we know how we did. But before they left, we don't do together. Where the honorable minister who did now, I don't sabi him 20 years ago. So now a brother, as a minister, as a brother. So we care, as workers, we always they appreciate for any student do for we. we want for can give an award. And we go ask the Chief Minister for Leka up and also for hand over this award to the Vice President on who the award done to him boss owner the President. We want the Vice President for cancer. Yes, sir. Okay. Salon Labour Congress make this award to Your Excellency Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, for your distinguished role in endorsing the National Social Dialogue involving government, employer, and workers. Thank you. We go want the Vice President Steve for wait, and we own for count up the President of the Sierra Labour Congress. As we always can say, the President of the Sierra Labour Congress, as we always can say, and the international organization do recognize the very strong nature of social dialogue in Sierra Leone that have been always amplified even in our presence at the ILO. They don't have the problem of having to meet with employers, government, and workers separately. They always meet us as a team. There was a time when I went to the honorable minister sitting here. Though I'm a worker representative, he's representing government, and you know, he knows the ILO setting, how acrimonious it is in terms of everybody exerting his own authority. But nevertheless, I was his PA, walking behind him, going around. We are always together. So in this light, we have a very strong dialogue from the top, from His Excellency the President. We see him sometimes 2 or 3 times a year. For the Vice President not to talk, he's our own. And I know he's truly number 2 worker. He represents that. He's the embodiment of workers in this country. Can we give him a round of applause? If we are here today, yesterday, because today we'll be here, definitely. Regardless of what happened yesterday, we know we'll be here today. Because normally we started celebrating May Day from 2016 here. And we have been continuing to do that. So if we start to incorporate a national social dialogue conference and forum, it's as a result of the initiative of our sitting vice president, for which we workers are indebted to. So as a result of that, we are giving him this special award. The Sierra Labour Congress, which awards, makes this award to Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, for your distinguished role in initiating the national social dialogue involving government, employers, and workers. Thank you. Thank you, sir. If we are here, if we start a social dialogue, because as I said, since 2016, we started celebrating May Day. We have always had the presence of government, and we don't have social dialogue incorporated in it. But today, we do have national social dialogue and conference before the May Day. And we want to thank the current Minister of Labor, who have walked through from his predecessors in carrying out what we enjoy today. As I said earlier, he's a brother I have known for long. Well, sometimes if you see him, he's more or less a trade union activist. Now, one minister this way, if he tell us something, you know, they sit on their office. Now, say they go. It even vex past you, but not overtake advantage you per workman, because he's not be workman. And you know waiting at the problem of employer, because himself get the good and bad side of employer. So I believe saying for that, you wear them, go feel am. So as a result of that, now for that, you're always passionate about workers. It go all over this country for resolve workers' problem. So as a result of that, and I say yesterday, the social dialogue always start in the office. The leadership of the Salo Labor Congress not get appointment to the Minister of Labor. In the month open, even if you get meeting, I think saying a style way they don't starting from my brother with the Naya. Anytime we go there, they know saying a problem they go. Because workers' problems are unique, they are always dynamic, then they always. So in the month always open for we they see almost every day of the week. So one for tell and thank you on behalf of workers. So as a result of that, I go ask the in predecessor for hand over this award. Program. We so one for recognize the presence of the proprietor and owner of Family Kingdom Let in Upper Jawad. We done the host we free of charge. Una know what the cost of that all day, but they give you and free. In one of the best, let's in let them see am. In one of the best employer in this country are. Here workman and a family, then they. So we like them for that. We appreciate you. Thank you for providing jobs for people them. And because we respect, when you talk about decent work, go na Family Kingdom. You go see her in the Amen.
Good afternoon to everybody. We are the active youth of the labor. We are today for like how somebody be talking and say at any time where you get problem at working place or any side, this minister ready for opening door for let you go explain yourself. Yes, sir. So we are today for give this award when I will literally put together for GAM this award for let me appreciating good work towards me, Mr. Minister Sadia.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Before we do the solidarity song, I most respectfully crave the indulgence of the Honorable Vice President, the Minister of Labor, and all the members who are on the high table to pose for a photo session, please. Please. Yes, please. Yes, please, up here on the stage again, please. Yeah. Please switch off the screen, please.
Now we power, true feeder go shine like tower. We no go fear, we go talk, even if they know how make we talk. True media radio, on FM 103.9.
Now God we dey pray, not true we dey preach. Freedom of speech, now that we dey teach.
For salon, we go stand tall. Radio, true media.
One voice for all.
We honor the land, the struggle, the fight. We shine a light in the darkest night because we believe in hard work and faith. The Sierra Leone way. We hold the line, come what may.
Them one set we more them, but we go shout. Now the poor man voice we they bring out.
Now we alright for know the truth. Now that make we go protect the truth.
Truth big and no they neglect anyone.
We are the voice, we are the flame. Truth will rise, they'll know our name. We are the truth and nothing else.
Truth make it, we know they play.
Now for Salon, we declare the way. Tune in every day to
Truth me get radio.
3.9.
Truth me get radio.
3.9. You radio to media. You radio to media. You radio to media. You radio to media. Radio to media.
On FM 103.9.
Radio to media.
On FM 103.9.
Hey yo, to media.
Truth be done.
Yes. Okay. On behalf of the organizers, I want to thank you all for coming. And as I declare this year's International Workers' Day officially closed, I call upon the representative again of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. We close this ceremony by chanting the Solidarity song. Please. We close it by chanting the Solidarity. We all stay seated and allow the Vice President and his entourage to leave the hall. I've done that. If you delay the singer, or the singer together. Or the singer together.
When the union's inspiration feeble strength of one, for the union makes us solidarity. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. They have taken on to leaders that they never tried to earn, but without a brains and muscle, not a single will put on. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
In our hands is placed the power greater than the ordered gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Everybody up! Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
Solidarity. Solidarity. Solidarity.
Thank you very much. Thank you. As I said, on behalf of the organizers, I thank you all for coming, and I now declare this year's International Workers' Celebration Day officially closed. Thank you, and may God bless Sierra Leone.
rise every morning with truth in our hands. No more silence, we take a stand. For the people who cry for the dreams that fade. We speak for the hearts that justice betrayed. Radio True DJ
On FM 103.9.
Radio True DJ
On FM 103.9.
Now we voice, now we power. True video go shine like tower. We no go fear, we go talk, even if they know I'll make